and the Manson Chamber of Commerce.
think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
The Lake Chelan Chamber of Commerce presents Brews on the Bridge for one day only. On October 1st, the old bridge in historic downtown Chelan becomes the Street of Dreams for beer and cider fans. Taste the different offerings and then vote for your favorites. Add music and food and you have one of the most popular events of the year. Tickets are on sale now at lakechelan.com and all proceeds go to a local nonprofit organization. But hurry, last year's event sold out early.
Just dropped a degree during our commercial break. It's now 42 in the Wenatchee Valley. Lower 60s, quite a bit of sunshine. Mid 60s, quite a bit of sunshine Saturday. We do it all over again on Sunday. Not a bad weekend at all from Mother Nature. We appreciate that. It's 8 minutes after the hour. The reward has recently doubled for information regarding that Okanagan County fugitive wanted for a double homicide. 47-year-old Dylan Harrington accused of shooting and killing an Omak couple back in February of 2022 at property that they owned near Chesaw. Police found the two victims' bodies burned and hidden under a sheet of plywood. The U.S. Marshals Service Task Force has sought Dylan Harrington ever since those homicides on warrants charging him with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Back in March, authorities posted a $5,000 reward for information that could help to capture Harrington, and this week the reward went up to $10,000. Harrington is white, 5'9", 145 pounds, and as you might imagine, is considered armed and dangerous. Anybody who can aid the investigation is asked to call 866-865-TIPS. The Wenatchee School District softball complex project is scheduled to be completed by next August. At the Tuesday school board meeting, project manager Rob Gross presented a timeline for the new varsity softball field at Triangle Park. The project is still in the early stages. It'll enter the design phase in October, and then construction begins in April of 2024. Gross confirmed that the timeline was realistic after being asked by board president Maria Iniguez, who said that there are female athletes depending on the district to get this facility built.
I just want to make sure that, now that it's out there, that this is a feasible timeline.
Oh, certainly. And we've had a lot of experts look at this and engage in their conversations and get their opinions. I've done more faster. So I'm not scared about any kind of time frame. Now we're in a sprint. We have a lot to do in the next couple of months. But we're not designing the entire building. So it's a little different. There's certain strategies that we can do. Unfortunately, that we can work through the winter. I mean, dirt's good to be moved during the winter. And there's nothing wrong with constructing anything in the winter. So we'll be good.
Governor Jay Inslee has tested positive for COVID-19 for the 3rd time since the pandemic began in our state. In early 2020, the governor's office said he tested positive yesterday morning amid a rise in new cases statewide. Inslee is said to be experiencing mild symptoms, will continue working and carrying out meetings remotely. He first tested positive for the virus in May of 2022. And again, just this past February, his last diagnosis forced him to cancel a planned visit to Leavenworth and Wenatchee. He later recovered and carried out that rescheduled visit 3 weeks later. The YMCA is holding a kickoff party so you can get an idea of what they want in the new design for their new building. Of course, they want to move into where the Chelan County PUD used to be, their old headquarters at 5th and the Avenue. A portion of the 5th Street building is earmarked for sale to the Y for about $1.2 million. The YMCA's design plans and capital campaign efforts for the space will be presented to the public. Their kickoff is called Building What Matters. It'll be October 19th from 5 to 7 at the local Event Center at the Pybus Public Market. The event is free, as you might imagine. And for the first time in their over 100-year history, the Washington State Patrol is actually offering lateral hires. Lateral hires are applicants who are already certified law enforcement officers, and so they have shorter training, and then they become a state trooper. They've never done this before. Why are they doing this? Well, they need more state troopers, and they're having a hard time holding on to the ones that they already have. The first class is scheduled for March of next year. The State Patrol hopes to see 40 lateral hires. The State Patrol has more than 250 openings, and they're now offering hiring incentives to new applicants. Trooper cadets can get up to $10,000 as a hiring bonus, and laterals can receive up to $20,000. All the info you need is just go to the Washington State Patrol's website. They need troopers, folks. That's the news at 13 minutes after the hour. What's been a busy news week, we'll wrap up with a busy news day today. I'm almost sure of that. Grant and Eric with the news and the weather at 5, 6, and 10. 5, 6, and 10. That 10 o'clock in the evening newscast might be delayed a little bit depending on how long the football game goes tonight. 5, 6, and 10 also available on our YouTube page, our homepage, ncwlife.com, and on our Facebook page. And at the bottom of the screen are the ways you can get a hold of us. The best way to do so, if you got a news tip, send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. When we come back, the Mariners are still alive, hanging on, and they gave everybody a heart attack last night, but they won. Sports is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Most of us are in touch with the internet in one way or another all day long. A fast, secure connection matters. It keeps us entertained, informed, and in touch. Locatel cares about your connection. We know strong, reliable internet with your choice of speed makes life better. If you need fast, reliable internet, or maybe an upgrade, or you just have questions, connect with us by visiting locatel.com or call 509-888-8888 today.
Shoot, I think I left my keys in the kitchen. Can you grab them?
Yep.
Find out?
What's this?
It's a locking bag. It keeps Grandma's medication safe.
But I could just take it.
Well, for one thing, it locks. And if it were gone, I know there's a problem.
Huh. Well played.
Help prevent opioid misuse before it starts. Visit getthefactsrx.com.
Boating in the Wenatchee Valley starts at Bob File Boats and Motors. Now you can fish like a pro without breaking the bank thanks to the ProMag aluminum fishing boat by Smokercraft. It features a great layout with a spacious bow casting platform, huge live wells, and in-floor storage to safely stow your gear. See the Smokercraft line of boats at Bob File Boats and Motors on Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee or online at bobfile.com.
Bob File Boats and Motors, we're dealing. Bob File's gonna make you smile.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether. We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
"16 minutes after the hour, the Mariners are still alive. First shot at the postseason, a wild walk-off win over Texas last night at T-Mobile Park. Good crowd, too. The Rangers posted a 2-0 lead, solo home runs, and then Julio Rodriguez came through with his 32nd home run. That was in the bottom of the fourth inning. The game stayed at 2-1 until the bottom of the ninth. That's when Seattle loaded the bases, nobody out. Mike Ford popped out. Josh Rojas popped out. So up to the plate, J.P. Crawford.
Every time the Mariners needed J.P. Crawford to come up big, this is it. Game on the line right here. Season pretty much on the line. Slicing drive, Carter back. He can't get it, and the Mariners win the game. J.P. Crawford comes up huge, and the Mariners season continues. Pure joy here at T-Mobile Park. This was just absolutely marvelous.
After a couple of sliders, he comes back with a fastball, and he stays right on it. Able to drive it to the warning track. Evan Carter, the rookie left fielder, not able to get back in time to make the catch, and that's your game winner. What a terrific moment for this team. Bases loaded, nobody out. They get 2 outs quickly, and J.P. what knew? He comes through again. What a tremendous year he is having, clutching up for this team.
Yeah, he's got good stuff, just be on time, and you see a pitch just go.
Did it help at all that you would
just seen this team less than a week ago, and you kind of knew what to expect with those guys out of the pen.
No, they do a good job mixing stuff up, and they have a really good bullpen, and we just got them today.
That inning changed so much. What did Cal getting on base, the wild pitches, and just kind of the way that played out, how did that affect the dynamic of your plate appearance?
Oh yeah, Cal got the inning started. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him getting on base, so it all started with him.
You told me yesterday there was only one thing to do, to come in and play. So what do you tell your teammates after this one?
Mañana, let's go.
Manager Scott Service says for the Mariners to continue to play baseball into October, their best players have to step up to the plate, and they did that last night.
Your best player's got to play well in the big moments, and he did tonight. So I joke, our bullpen catcher put a note. He's big for leaving messages on my desk at the beginning of every series, and one today was burn the boats. So it was that time. We had to figure a way to win a game tonight, and we got it done. So we'll build off that, hopefully get the momentum, get after the game tomorrow. Tomorrow will be another challenge. That's just where we're at right now. And, with what's happened to us over the last 6-7 days, we need a little help. But we got to take care of business, and tonight was certainly a big one. You're going to have a good at-bat. You're not always going to come through. You're not always going to get the big hit. But you're going to swing at the right pitches. You're going to hit the ball hard. And then once in a while, you need a luck to go your way. Certainly he drove that ball. He burned him, hit it over his head. He earned it. But couldn't be any happier for him. And how, JP has grown over the time when we first acquired him, into winning a Gold Glove, to now being an offensive presence at the top of our lineup. It has been awesome to watch it evolve.
They'll play again tonight, 7:10 first pitch on Root Sports Northwest. Now, the Mariners can still actually win the division, but they still have to sweep Texas, and they need to have Arizona sweep the Astros. We'll see if that pans out. Houston trailed the Rangers by 2 games. The Mariners are 3 games back. Again, 3 games left to play as far as the wild card is concerned. Toronto beat the Yankees 6-0, so their spot in the second wild card playoff team is getting solidified. As you can see, Houston is 3rd, but Seattle just 1 game out of that 3rd and final wild card spot. All right, college football for the teams here in our state. Eastern Washington will host Idaho on the red carpet at 1 o'clock. That's on ESPN+. I don't have that. Central Washington is at Eastern New Mexico at 6. The 7th-ranked Huskies will be in Tucson tomorrow night. That place has been a tough place for the Huskies to win in recent years. We'll see what happens. That'll be on the Pac-12 network at 7 o'clock. And the Cougars don't play anybody. Good for them. Seahawks, they get another day of practice before flying cross country. Of course, they got the Giants on Monday Night Football. Monday's game at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey kicks off at 5:15 on both ESPN and the American Broadcasting Company. We got Big 9 football tonight here on the NCAA Life Channel. The Wenatchee Panthers are 2-2. The Moses Lake Mavericks 4-0. Wenatchee's coming off a 51-6 win at Eisenhower last Friday. Linebacker Daniel Moffitt says beating Ike like that was a big confidence builder.
Yeah, it was a big win for the team. Boosted morale 100%. We move on every week, hoping to get a win. We prepared for this team for this whole week. We're ready.
How important is that to get those turnovers like you guys did last week?
It's a huge game changer. Big momentum, getting our offense back on that field. Scoring on defense, always a plus, Yeah.
Panther coach Scott Devereaux said the defense did play very good against Eisenhower last week. They're going to have to play really good because Moses Lake scores a lot of points.
Yeah, kids felt great after that game. They gave us some. Throwing 4 interceptions helped us out quite a bit. We only ran about 35 plays on offense, but they were efficient. We scored when we had the ball, and we took a step forward.
Well, talk about that step as you now go into this week against a very good Moses Lake team.
Definitely different. Moses Lake's going to throw it all over the field, and pretty sound defense. They're very predictable on defense. And, we hope we can just keep the momentum going, take what they give us, keep their offense on the sideline as long as we can.
So speed. So how do you match that speed?
You don't play man coverage, unless you have guys that can match it. And we don't have that many guys that are that fast. Moses Lake has 3 legit fast guys. They're all in the top of the league in receiving and touchdowns and yardage. And so we're going to zone them up and get after the quarterback a little bit.
It's the Panthers and the 5th-ranked Moses Lake Mavericks. If you can't make it to leave off the field at the Apple Bowl tonight, you can watch the game. Grant Olson and Brandon Harley with the call. 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff right here in stereophonic sound and high definition television. The Wildcats, they are ranked 4th in the RPI after they beat Davis a week ago, 48-zip. They're in Sunnyside tonight. Coach Michael Dawn has a strong opinion about rankings and what they mean.
Nothing. It's a computer ranking. Nobody looks at, well, people look at it, but it's not used in the seating committee. It has no play in your seating. It's just a computer program that looks at your win percentage and your opponent's win percentage, and that's it. That's how they come up with their ranking, and it doesn't take into account out-of-state opponents or even classification. If you're a 4A school and you beat a B school with the winning record, it counts the same as beating, Graham Kapowson. It doesn't mean a lot, and it's good. Kids can look at it and go, oh, hey, cool, we're there, but we don't put a lot of stock into it. We don't talk about it. It just is something the WI releases.
The Grizzlies are 2-2 so far this season. As far as the scouting report about Sunnyside, Coach Don says they run the same offense as they've been running for years, with one big difference. Their really, really good quarterback from last year graduated.
They're going to create chaos on defense. They send at least 5 about 80% of the time. They send a lot of pressures. They come from all directions. They love to send all 6 of their D-line. They got 3 D linemen, 3 linebackers. They'll bring them from everywhere. And I think their goal is just to create confusion and chaos. So we're going to keep it real simple this week and try to just do a few things really well against it, because, you can't do too much when, the other team's trying to create absolute chaos. So we're going to keep it real simple. And then offensively, they're going to throw the ball about 40 times, and they got some nice space athletes. They'll get it out to them. Obviously losing somebody like Maldonado makes a big difference, where he completed 70-something% of his passes. He was one of the best athletes on the field. So he just did different things that not a lot of people can do, and that's why he was the league MVP, and he was just a special player. And obviously they don't have him there anymore, so it makes a difference for him.
Eastmont senior linebacker Josh Leonhardt says the Wildcats aren't too worried about Sunnyside trying to run the ball on them.
We're not really worried about a run. We're definitely more worried about a throwing, spread, empty. But I think we'll be fine, cover the screens, and we should be just fine. On film, it's a lot. They're definitely passing more than any team we played so far. And, if they're watching our film, we've stuffed the run pretty well so far this year, so hopefully they don't even think about it.
Eastmont kicks off at Sunnyside tonight at 7 o'clock. Other games in the Big Nine, it's Eisenhower at Davis, which is strange because they play on the same field. And West Valley has a non-leaguer against Hermiston. The CWAC and the Caribou Trail League will be on display in Cashmere tonight. The Bulldogs have a non-leaguer against Ephrata. They'll kick off at 7 o'clock. It's all league games for the rest of the CWAC. Sela visits East Valley. Ellensburg will host Prosser, and Grandview is at Othello. Caribou Trail League play begins in Quincy and Chelan tonight. The Jackrabbits will host Cascade, and the Goats will entertain Omak. They will also kick off at 7 o'clock. As far as Central Washington B League, you got Okanagan hosting Pullman. That's a non-leaguer, as you might imagine, 4 o'clock this afternoon. Other games for the Bees, 7 o'clock tonight. Brewster is at Lake Roosevelt. Manson will host Tonasket. NES at Waterville Mansfield. Pateris visits Bridgeport. Orville is at Soap Lake. Les Schwab scoreboard from last night in girls soccer. Ephrata got by Ellensburg 3-2. Cascade beats Quincy 2-1. Cashmere shut out Omak 3-0. Liberty Bell doubled up Orville 4-2. Tonasket took down Lake Roosevelt 11-0. And Brewster beat Manson 3-0. Lots of soccer tonight and tomorrow. Okanagan is on the road at Mount Vernon Christian. That's a 4 o'clock start today. Then the rest are tomorrow. Manson hosts Omak at 11 a.m. Eastmont is at home against West Valley. They'll get going at noon. Ephrata will also have a noon kickoff against Grandview at home. Tonasket plays at Mount Vernon Christian. The Wenatchee girls will take on Moses Lake. That'll be at Lions Field at 1 o'clock. Lake Roosevelt at Liberty Bell meet in Winthrop tomorrow afternoon at 4:30. Volleyball, Wenatchee remains undefeated in Big Nine play. They swept Moses Lake. West Valley swept Eastmont. Ephrata took care of Grandview. Cashmere quieted Omak. Quincy topped Cascade in 4 sets. And for the smaller schools last night, Aniette swept Easton. Waterville Mansfield Getting by Soap Lake, Pateros edged Thorpe, Okanagan sweeps Bridgeport, Lake Roosevelt took 3 from Orville, and Tenaskip topped Libertyville 3-1 with Manson blanking Brewster. As far as the schedule is concerned, Waterville-Mansfield will host Antioch's volleyball team tonight at 5. Cashmere takes on East Valley. That'll be in Natchez tomorrow at 10. That's followed by Cascade and East Valley at 11:30. Brewster visits Libertyville in volleyball at 12:30. Waterville-Mansfield will host Odessa. Cashmere will take on Natchez Valley at 1. Cascade takes on the Rangers afterwards at 2:30. That's a lot of volleyball for those guys. Lake Roosevelt plays at Elmira Cooley Heartline, Simon and Garfunkel at 4. Everybody out of the pool, it is kids swim at Wenatchee High School, getting going at noon. Eastmont, Moses Lake, Kennewick, Southridge. It's a big meet at the Wenatchee pool at 12 noon. And the Wenatchee Wild, what a crazy week it's been for these guys. They lost their head coach. He's been suspended. They're on the road this weekend. They're in Everett against the Silvertips tonight at 7:05. They'll be in Kelowna to take on the Rockets tomorrow night at 7:05. And then 3 games in 3 days. I'll wrap up the weekend in Vancouver against the Giants Sunday at 4 o'clock. Wild games heard locally with our friend Austin Drade on 560 KPQ. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this 29th day of September. I don't know anybody, well, maybe 1 or 2 people, who don't start their day without a hot piping cup of coffee. Today is National Coffee Day. Today we love our caffeine. According to legend, it was an Ethiopian farmer, a goat herder in the highlands of Ethiopia, who noticed that whenever his goats ate this plant, they got pretty wired, and they were all buzzed up pretty good. And he goes, hey, what happens if humans try this plant out? And so he took it to the local monastery, and they said, well, let's see if we can make coffee. And they made coffee, and coffee spread from Ethiopia to Europe to Asia to here. We love our coffee here. In fact, the average American spends $1,094 every year on coffee. One American. Over $1,000 every year in coffee. I know people who spend twice that much. Obviously, Brazil is the world's leader in coffee production. There's only 2 states in the union that grow coffee, California and Hawaii, and most of that's in Hawaii. But Brazil is the coffee supplier to the world. 1/3 of all the coffee consumed originated with coffee beans in Brazil. We call them beans. They look like beans. They're not actually beans. Their seeds. Second on that list is Vietnam, by the way. What country drinks more coffee per capita? Finland. They're pretty wired up there in Finland. And in 1932, the Brazil Olympic team going to Los Angeles couldn't afford to go to Los Angeles, so the 82 athletes on the Brazil Summer Olympic team in 1932 got on board the ship, and as they sailed up and through the Panama Canal and on their way to Los Angeles, they simply made stops in ports of call to sell coffee to raise money so they could go to the Olympics. But when they got to Los Angeles, a month later, they still didn't have enough money for all 82 athletes because it was $1 per athlete to get off the boat. And so they all gathered and they picked out the 15 or 16 athletes that they thought would win medals, and they got off the boat and paid their $1. And then they went up to San Francisco and sold the rest of the coffee and went back down to Los Angeles and got the rest of the team off the boat. Coffee, baby. I start every day with a cup of coffee. It's 31 minutes after the hour. It all happened on the same day, all about World War I. The dominoes began to fall 105 years ago today, September 29th, 1918. The first thing that Bulgaria said, we're out. We're not going to win. Don't want to be a part of the Kaiser's group anymore. We're out. Bulgaria quits the war. Sorry, Kaiser. Sorry, Paul. We're out. We're toast. Good luck. Also, on that very same day, probably the reason that they quit, the Hindenburg Line was finally broken by an Allied attack on the very same day, and Bulgaria said, oh boy, we're out of here. The Hindenburg Line was the line, but thanks to the doughboys of the United States Army, the Hindenburg Line was broken. And so also on September 29th, 1918, they got together, the 3 leaders, Germany's Supreme Commander, Paul von Hindenburg, and his Chancellor Eric Ludendorff got together with Kaiser Wilhelm, who's in the middle, and Eric and Paul told Kaiser, we ain't going to win this war. So what do you say we start negotiating? They tell the Kaiser and the Chancellor, the head dude did, Paul Van Hindenburg, so we ain't going to win. You might want to start talking about some negotiations so we can get out of here before we get obliterated. All happened 105 years ago today. Take a look at this photo. Yikes. 83 years ago today, over New South Wales, Australia, two planes collide in midair. They remained locked together, and they still landed. I kid you not. The engines on the upper plane quit working, but the engines on the lower plane kept working, and so they figured out, both the navigator and the pilot of the two planes together, figured out if we work the rudders, we can, work the throttle a little bit. I think we could probably land, even though one plane is attached to the other. They actually landed. All four crewmen survived, the two in the upper plane and the two in the lower plane, and they just landed together. In fact, the lower plane, they fixed it and put it back to work. Yikes. That was 83 years ago today. And 66 years ago today, the Brooklyn Dodgers and the New York Giants played their last games as the Brooklyn Dodgers and the New York Giants. The Brooklyn Dodgers lost to the Phillies at Shibe Park 2-1, but the Giants played at home at the Polo Grounds. They took on the Pittsburgh Pirates. They lost 9-1. This is the final New York Giants game at the Polo Grounds, and here is the final out. And here comes the chaos. Now, the clubhouse at the Polo Grounds was beyond center field, and before you know it, the players for the Pirates and the Giants had to run for their lives as the fans stormed the field. Everybody knew that the Giants were leaving. They'd already announced they were going to go to San Francisco. Look at that. They said, we got to get out of here or we're going to get mugged as the fans stormed the field. The fans made off with home plate, the pitcher's rubber. All three bases were stolen. The telephones at the Polo Grounds, all the telephones were stolen. The signs were stolen. All the plaques hanging on the walls, stolen, gone. They didn't take it very well. The last Giants game at the Polo Grounds on this date in 1957, and we have some birthdays. The Hollywood Walk of Fame has 5 categories that you could get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Film, television, radio, music, and concerts. Those are the 5. Film, radio, movies, television, live concerts. The only person to have 5 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Gene Autry, the singing cowboy, back in the saddle again. Gene Autry was also one of the very first people ever to figure out that there was a lot of money to be made in investing in real estate in Southern California, and he bought up as many lots as he could, got into radio and television. He owned the Angels, died in 1998, a very rich man. Gene Autry, born in the state in 1907. The great Bum Phillips was born 100 years ago today. If you followed the NFL in the 70s and 80s, you remember Bum Phillips, coach of the Oilers and the Saints. There are 2 kinds of coaches, Bum Phillips once said, those who have been fired and those who are going to get fired. I never scrimmaged the Oilers against the Oilers because the Oilers aren't on our schedule. And finally, during training camp, when the great running back Earl Campbell could not complete the 1-mile run, Bum Phillips said, if we ever get in a situation where it's first and a mile, we won't run Earl Campbell. The great Bum Phillips, born 100 years ago today. And the killer, Jerry Lee Lewis, who died last October at the age of 87, the last surviving member of the inaugural class of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1986. He was the last one standing. The killer, Jerry Lee Lewis, would have been 88 years old today, but the music lives on. Gonna take a break. Mike McNaughty likes to read, and when he's reading, don't bug him. An opinion from Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and your last chance to get your tickets to see Night at the Museum or participated in it anyway. It's tomorrow night at the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. Mariah Thornock will be joining me when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Are you hungry enough to eat the end out of a rhinoceros? I know how you feel. Come on out to Blueberry Hills. You'll have a great time. We've got excellent food, a feet on the furniture kind of experience, and we won't hustle you out of your table. If you want a real farm experience, make the trek to Manson to Blueberry Hills, where you sit, you pick, you eat, and you visit. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
Did you know that nearly 50% of pet poisoning cases involve human medications and prescription drugs? Sometimes the culprit's a curious dog, but cats get into their share of trouble as well. Other times, pet owners mistakenly give their pets their own medications that are safe to people but toxic to their pets. Dr. Shauna Baez and her staff care about your pets. Go to pawsandclawsvh.com for a complete list of medications to avoid or call 888-PAWS.
Winter is a great time to trade in your current hot tub. Turn your old hot tub into money with Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa's trade-in program. You can save $500 to $1,000 off of any new artesian spa or take advantage of a free Bluetooth music experience. Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa recommends draining your hot tub every 3 months. Ask us about our drain and refill special. Stop on by Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa today.
Hey man, how's your arm?
Getting better, actually, thanks.
Did they give you anything for pain after surgery? Because I think I may have some left over.
Nah, that's all right, man. Actually, me and my doctor talked about not sharing prescriptions, and that ibuprofen's a good option for me. The risk of addiction is not worth it.
Makes sense.
Take the next step. Don't share your prescriptions, and talk to your friends about the dangers of opioids.
Okay, hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, I've always been a reader. I mean, reading is my safe place, my happy place. And whenever I'm asked what my favorite thing to do is, I say reading. Well, my favorite family-friendly thing. Okay, so I have news for you folks who are not readers. Reading is doing something. People who aren't readers see somebody like me reading a book and they think, hey, he isn't doing anything. I can talk to him and then be insulted if he doesn't hear me respond or if he just keeps his nose in the book. Now, reading is as legitimate as activity, which is rude to interrupt, as playing video games, talking on the phone, or contemplating your navel, whatever it is non-readers do. You may not like to read, but I do. So there. This is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and that's my opinion.
It's Manson HydroFest, September 29th through October 1st on Lake Chelan. Pacific Northwest Power Boat Association racing teams will be duking it out to see who will take home the trophy. 11 classes of inboard hydroplanes, flat bottoms, vintage hydroplanes, tunnel boats, and junior hydros will tear up the waters of Lake Chelan. Admission is free. Manson HydroFest, presented by Wine Girl Wine, Bob File Boats and Motors, 12 Tribes Lake Chelan Casino, and the Manson Chamber of Commerce.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you're calling on 35 plus years of experience in the Wenatchee Valley. Spending extra time in your home, you may have discovered an unwanted aroma. Stinky feet, pets, who knows what. Call Dick's today about installing their Train Clean Effects electronic air cleaner or a Rheem Halo ultraviolet air purifier. Either way, the air quality in your home will be improved. Proudly servicing all of North Central Washington, call 884-6444 today.
Crystal's Intimate Lounge in downtown Leavenworth is a wonderful place to enjoy mouth-watering appetizers and drinks while socializing, watching sports, playing bingo, pull tabs, or simply relaxing while enjoying the breathtaking mountain views. Crystal's family-friendly restaurant has a warm environment to enhance your dining experience, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Crystal's restaurant, lounge, and event space is located 2 blocks west of downtown Leavenworth on Highway 2.
This is Grace, and this is her world record-holding guinea pig with an iconic name, Abby.
She currently holds the Guinness World Record for the highest bar jump by a guinea pig. I ride horses and I jump, so I kind of thought it'd be interesting to teach my guinea pig to jump like my horse does.
One day she came out of her room and looked at us, and I said, "Did you get it?" And she said, "Yeah, we got it."
after we won our award, we came to Abby's to celebrate.
Anybody with any expertise in their field of knowledge will tell you there's three things that mark a thriving community: good school system, parks, and museums. Check one, check two. Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center checks that third box. Mariah Thornock is with me again as we transition from summer to fall. You have a full slate of activities going on. You guys are jam-packed, going strong.
Yeah, fall seems to be that exciting, busy time for us. I feel like we should have our tennis shoes on when we come to work each day, and the stiff cup of coffee and a lot of fun.
It's funny, we were talking about this when we were setting up and walking around the museum. We're in the annex section of it on the south side of the museum. Not a lot of communities have this kind of facility to use as a museum. It has all the square footage you need. You can theme out certain rooms, and you have done so. You've taken advantage of every square foot. A lot of communities are probably jealous of this place, aren't they?
Yeah, and to be in two beautiful historic buildings. I love the fact that we are in the first and second post offices in Wenatchee. So all of the, important documents of our early community came through here as living documents, and they're now in our basement being preserved as historic documents. So.
And smack dab in the middle of town.
Right downtown, that's right.
It's a beautiful, wonderful thing. They have one ginormous fundraiser every year. It's Night at the Museum. This year it's on Saturday, the 30th of September. And it's a party. It's a wing it's a good time. Night at the Museum 101. What can people expect on Saturday the 30th?
I don't think that there's an event quite like this in town. It's an opportunity to really explore the museum, to be an adult, to be a kid again. You'll enter through an entrance you typically don't enter from. It's the old annex building, and you'll enter into our Apple Industry exhibit where we are right now. And the party going on here is our homesteaders, our moonshiners, our cidery, our brewery. We have some great music that you'll enter to, some great beer to taste, some cider to taste, some really yummy treats, and then you'll get to walk upstairs to the History of Wenatchee exhibit, and that's our jazz alley. There'll be some more great music, more great food, and you'll end the night on our big featured gallery. You've explored the museum along the way, where we have 8 different wineries, craft cocktails, great food. Michael Carlos is going to be down there. The Jazz Jam Quintet is going to be down there. It's 3 parties, 5 date nights, everything that you'd want to do wrapped into one Saturday night.
Probably a lot of work for you guys to get all this together, but you always bring back the same caterers who just whip out some fantastic Epicurean delights. I'm talking great food, great wine, great cider, great everything. This is all 5-star stuff here. You're not scarfing a hot dog down and drinking a beer.
You're not. It's the opportunity to really taste the best of our area. We're not pulling in people from Seattle. We're not looking down to the Tri-Cities. This is all that North Central Washington has to offer, and all in one place. And we've got some really amazing chefs in this town, and we've got some lovely wineries and some people that make incredible cocktails. So let's get them all together and have one big party.
And this is a fundraiser for you guys, and there's a series of smaller fundraisers, but this is really, you hang your hat on this one event every year.
This is a way for us to let people get into the museum and explore in the way they didn't. So we hope that after that night, people really want to become a member of the museum and come back time and time again. But the ticket price, our sponsors, and our silent auction that night, we've got some really incredible silent auction items.
Such as?
So anybody who is a wine aficionado knows the name Leonetti, and we had a gracious donor donate 3 different years of their Cab Sauv, which is called a vertical tasting. That's typically like a $500 entry into wine, and it's going to be on our silent auction table. We have some really exclusive tours that you wouldn't get to take. The city has offered to allow people to go through their wastewater treatment plant, which is kind of fun and exciting. And normal person doesn't get to do that. Hard hat tour of the dam. We have tickets to different plays, and
it's a silent auction because a lot of people are intimidated with an auctioneer and you hold the paddle up. This is the whole thing is silent.
The whole thing is silent. You write your bid down, you stand there with your glass of wine, you maybe fend off a couple of people, have a little bit of a silent battle.
If you really want it, you're standing there. And yeah,
That's
you've
right.
seen that before.
But all of that is going to go back to the museum, and it allows us to keep our entry fee to the museum quite low. It allows us to bring school groups in, to have the changing exhibits that you see throughout the year.
That's the key. You don't want to be stagnant.
You don't.
You got to bring in new exhibits, and exhibits aren't free, but you always have to bring in new things all the time to not only draw new people in to things that will specifically interest them, but also your regular patrons come back time and time again to find out what's new.
That's right. I mean, we have 80,000 collection items in our collection, and our being able to have a rotating exhibit space allows us to bring these items out, share stories that people might not know about, and all of that takes funding to make sure that we're putting on something that's quality and interesting to come and look at, and engaging our historical experts in, so you're getting the right information about our local history.
Before we let people know how they can get tickets, and by the way, this event has sold out in the past because it's not just unlimited tickets, and this doesn't work that way. They have to figure out how much wine and food and all that stuff, and you can't just have this place overwhelming with people. Going to give you the info in just a little bit, but some of the exhibits you're talking about coming up here as we're getting into October and November, you got some pretty cool things lined up here.
We do. One that I'm really excited about that's going to open on the first Friday in October is called All the Sacrifices You've Made. And this was developed by a group of students from the University of Washington in collaboration with the UW Museum Studies. And they actually happen to be students that grew up in Eniat and Wenatchee. And it's a history of their life growing up in migrant families in the agricultural industry in our valley. It wasn't meant to be a traveling exhibit. They created that. They showcased it through the Washington Historical Society in Tacoma. And I saw it and went, that needs to be here. That's our people. That's our story. And they really graciously worked with us over the last year to turn it into a traveling exhibit just to bring it to Wenatchee. So if you missed it in Tacoma, this is your only chance to see this. In collaboration with that, we are going to have a companion exhibit open up the first Friday in November, which is bringing in more oral histories, more local stories about our agricultural industry, about the Latinx experience, and it's all timed for our Day of the Dead event that's opening in November.
Quick reminder, folks, if you're new to town, and a lot of people are new to town, they seem to have discovered the Wenatchee Valley. If this is going to be your home, this is where you're going to play down roots and be a part of the community, you want to find out about the history of the community. I've had people who say, hey, I'm new in town, I'm going to stay here, this is my home, I love it here. And I said, go to the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center because you need to learn about your new home. And they do.
Yeah.
Because it's important.
It is important. And it's not just even the history, it's the culture and the heritage of our area. So you come and you might tour the museum and get the exhibits, but come back for our events because you're going to learn about music and art and food and wine, the things that make this place important. And that's an evolving thing. So coming back time and time again, you're going to have a new experience.
The Night of the Museum, again, is Saturday the 30th, and I hate to do this to you, Mariah, but on the website there's a typo. They said it's just for non-members, it's only $75 a ticket. That can't be right.
That is right. Where are you going to get?
Have you talked to your accountant about this?
Dinner? Shh! Don't tell anybody.
Oh, okay. You're going to get wine. You're going to get food. You're going to get entertainment. You're going to go all over this place and see all kinds of cool. $75. I mean, come on.
I know.
You can charge twice that.
When's the last time you had a date night and that was the price for it?
Yeah.
So, it is an exceptional deal, but we want to make it accessible to people and we want to raise money at the same time. So that's the sweet spot for us. And really, we're able to offer that ticket price thanks to our sponsors. We have some incredible sponsors this year. The chefs are really giving us a wonderful deal. The wineries are coming in and giving us a wonderful deal. The museum history and heritage is important to them, and so that's what makes that ticket price so accessible.
And that's for non-members. For members, it's only $50, and you should become a member. You should become a sustaining member of the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. Not only do you get some really great perks, like $25 off a ticket for Night of the Museum, but you get sneak previews of exhibits. You can come in. They have special programs after hours for members to come in. The only way to go.
That
It's a
is.
good deal.
It is. It's an incredible deal. And we even have membership levels at which you get entry into, if you're a big traveler, into other museums across the country.
Yeah, you have this reciprocal agreement.
We do, yeah. We see a lot of people come from Seattle who are members at the Pacific Science Center or the Seattle Art Museum. They come here and are able to get in. Our members are able to get into theirs for free.
You whip out your membership card and they go, hey, Mr. Kuntz, come on in. VIP treatment.
That's right. Just tell them Mariah sent you.
Last question, we'll cut you loose. How's the new, you're still fairly new to the gig, Mariah. How's it working out? You liking it?
It's been a pretty, I'm just past the 1 year mark. It's been pretty exciting. I think I may have said this last year when I came on board. I feel like they've given me the keys to the kingdom. I just love it here. And I still feel that way. We've got a great staff. We get to do fun stuff. I mean, there's nothing like coming to work and having 150 excited kids go through and just ready to see apples flung on the apple sorter, the train go through, have events like Night at the Museum that's coming up. It's a pretty special place to be.
Now to the museum, just go to the museum's website and you'll click on that. You just buy your tickets. Buy them in advance, buy them in advance, buy them in advance, because it's limited. I mean, as we talked about before, these tickets can sell out. So you don't be dinking around and say, what do you want to do tomorrow night? Let's get tickets, because you may be out of luck. All right. Thanks, Mariah.
Yeah, thank you. Come back anytime.
Anytime, and we just have one more item of business, and that's find out where the dimmer switches are. It's an old building. We'll find them eventually. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Hey, hon, would you run this around to the wash rack?
Oh, okay.
Hey, hon, what happened?
They shrunk the truck.
The all-new mid-size Canyon is now available at Sangster Motors.
Attention, attention, Collins Fashions has a red dot sale on summer sundresses, capris, shorts, tees, tanks, and sandals, all at 50% off. Look for the red dot racks. Fall fashions from Tribal, Charlie B, French dressing, Habitat are arriving daily. Cozy sweaters and tops, great fitting jeans and slacks selected just for you. Brighton Apple Watch bands are fantastic and are in stock. Amazing service and selection at Collins in downtown Wenatchee.
Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
All right, getting ready to wrap up a Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It is cool. It is now 41 degrees outside of our studios. Other places are downright chilly. Ellensburg, to the south of us, you're checking in at 37 degrees. It's 37 in Ephrata. It's 37 in Moses Lake. It is 38 in downtown Dryden. In suburban Dryden, it is also 38. But the cool spot right now in our viewing area, Manson, only 34 degrees. Now, we're going to see temperatures below normal into the weekend. We're going to be back up to normal by Sunday. We'll get to those forecast details, but this has been a long stretch now. 11 days in a row, we've had our afternoon high temperatures below normal. In fact, oftentimes quite below normal. Our normal high on this date is 71. We're going to be at least 10 degrees cooler than that for the afternoon high. Those details are coming up, but we have a little time, and we have our fantastic PTZ cameras, courtesy of Localtel's Sky-Fi division. So Let's take a look at what it looks like at the very tip top of Jump Off Ridge. In fact, you can actually see, if you squint, the Wenatchee Heights camera. As we look out over the valley, just a stunning view from Jump Off Ridge. Yeah, the cameras are great. It doesn't do the naked eye any justice. The naked eye is really the way to see some of these incredible views, but that is what it is. You can see the Stemilt Basin and the reservoirs. And I'm thinking about the only fruit left on the tree right now is apples, and I know they're deep into the apple harvesting season now, but a great view from Jump Off Ridge as we can see the entire Wenatchee Valley and all of Birch and Badger Mountain and Sunny Slope and Sleepy Hollow. Great view there. I don't know what Uriah has planned. He's going to surprise me. He's going to surprise me with Hay Canyon, I believe. Hello, Hay Canyon. You can see all of Kashmir there. Just a few high clouds hanging around, and that's what we're going to have today. It'll be a tug of war between the sun and the clouds, but the sun is going to get the upper hand. But we still have all this cool air that was ushered in about 3 days ago when this cold front came in and brought us all that rain. Well, not a lot of rain, but it brought us much needed rain. That cold air is still here, but it's eventually going to warm up a little bit. Good morning to Kashmir. Who's next on the agenda? Ooh, oh, this is good. Let me think. I got to look. He's throwing a curveball at me here. I can see Mission. I want to say maybe perhaps the Rock Island camera. That's the Rock Island camera looking out on the other side of the Columbia towards Malaga and towards the Stemilt Basin. That's pretty cool. Mission Ridge way off in the background and the Clockham. That's good stuff there. And finally, let's wrap it up with Cougar Ridge. That's a no-brainer there. Great time of the year to visit Omi Gardens. By the way, it's always a good time of the year to visit Omi Gardens, but head on up there and see our friends there. Good morning to the Stemilt Complex, Old Station, the Otobashian Bridge, and the roundabout, which I think people are finally starting to figure out. In fact, you can even see way off in the distance. You can always make out Kashmir. Great views there. Speaking of that, check out this time-lapse photography. This was taken yesterday at about this time from our Waterville camera, looking back towards the Wenatchee Valley. Check this out. It is a beautiful area that we live in, isn't it? Spectacular stuff. And by the way, that's me on drums from the National Weather Service. One more look at your forecast. Not particularly warm, but quite a bit of sunshine for the most part. High of about 60 degrees, 44 for the overnight low tonight. Sunshine, we're going to be considerably warmer, mid-60s anyway on Saturday. Could even kiss the upper 60s. A little breezy at times on Saturday afternoon, especially to the north of us. You folks in Omak, Okanagan, you're going to be dealing with quite a bit of wind on Saturday. The wind will be diminished quite a bit by the time it makes it down here to the Wenatchee Valley. Sunday, sunshine, warmer still, up near 70, and very October-like weather as we welcome October next week. That's it for us. Have a great weekend. We will see you Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.
Greetings, North Central Washington, and welcome to Networked. I'm your host, Jenny Rojanasatian, Executive Director of NCW Tech Alliance. Here on our weekly show, we spotlight the innovators and changemakers who are shaping the vibrant communities across North Central Washington and beyond. Today, we're going to be diving in with an incredible woman of intellect, dedication, and community building, Summer Hess, owner of Sage Step Consulting. Summer wears many hats. She's a consultant, author, editor, and a passionate advocate for community building across the region. For 7 years, Summer spearheaded